Hello everybody, this is Ryan from Android in Canada, and here's my review of the HTC One X. So I got this one the other day, and I've been playing with it for a little over a week and a half now, and I must say I am quite taken by it. It is a pretty great little phone, and pretty near to taking out my Nexus. So let's just get to it. The device we know is a 4.7-inch screen, so a little bit larger than the Nexus. We got a micro SD slot on the side. We have your headphone connector, your power button, your volume rocker, and that's it. The body itself is made of a plastic, and it feels a little plastic. I kind of preferred the One S style. I don't know why they did do this on the One X. The micro SIM slot is up here, and it's got a little pushy button thingy. You got to slide something in, and it comes with a little adapter for that. A little weird, but the only other thing about the body is that the camera bump is pretty big. I don't know if you can really tell on here, but you can really feel when it's flying down that there is quite a difference, you know, how much it's sitting on that little camera bump. Okay, other than that, let's talk about the body. The power button. Maybe I just got a little more heavily used demo model, but the power button I find isn't quite as springy as you would expect sometimes. It feels a little soft. So that makes doing the screen grab sometimes a little trickier. Well, it works there, no problem. But I've had several times where it just would go to volume and the power wasn't sort of really recognizing. So that's the body. Let's go on to what it comes with. It comes with, ice cream sandwich. It's 4.0.3. It also comes with Sense 4.0. Now, some of you have been using Sense before, and you're not used to Sense 4.0, you're going to really like it. They've done a lot of changes, and it's really smooth. Not much lag to it at all. And one of the things that Sense does bring to it is a lot of little neat features to that as well. One of them is the fact that you're going to have a ton of widgets. Let's go to the widgets option. And you just have tons of widgets to scroll through to choose from. Some of them are the ones that are based on apps, but just tons of Sense widgets. We also have a really good multitasking tool. So the multitasking works very much like, almost like WebOS cards. Don't like that, let's get rid of it. Don't like that, let's get rid of that. So some neat little things in Sense that you'll really like. Some you might find useful, some you don't, so just never use them. One thing I find a little tricky with Sense is the layout of the menus. It's just a little hard to get used to. Again, if it was my phone, I probably wouldn't have that much problems after a little while, but having been on another phone, it gets a little tricky to get used to it and trying to find the one you want to do. For example, if I wanted to change my desktop wallpapers, normally I just hold down the button and then choose, but there's no option to do that here. I actually have to go into Settings, Personalize, Wallpaper. So just, again, a few more steps, and sometimes let's just see if this works here. Do they get downloads? No, that's not in there. Okay, so that's Sense. I think you'll really like it using it. One of the things it also comes with is, you'll notice in the back, HTC Beats or Beats Audio. That's up to you whether you think you like it or not. I don't really notice that much of a difference. I like to consider myself a bit of an audiophile, but again, I don't really notice that difference. Maybe if you have the special Dr. Dre Beats headphones, but really, and there's a couple articles I'll link to in the blog that talk about whether or not it's actually useful or not. Okay, what else about it? You get 16 gigabytes of space, but you're also going to get the 25 gigabytes bonus with Dropbox. So 60 doesn't seem like that much, especially nowadays, but you're going to get 25 of Dropbox as well on top of that. So that's going to give you plenty of space to work with in the cloud. Plus, you're going to have your Google Drive. It's another 5 gigs. So plenty of space to worry about. The Sense keyboard is really nice. I kind of like it. It's got a very swipe mentality to it. You have that option to swipe. And I really like the way Sense has that sort of push button feel. You can see the buttons being pressed, the soft press, and the same thing that happens in any of the other buttons you have here. So if you pick something, it has that sort of, you can really tell that you've pushed it. So it's very well polished. You'll like that. The lock screen, which is kind of cool. So I turn it off, bring it to lock screen. You have whatever you had in the bottom row as your lock screen. So if you want to go straight to your camera app, that's a single app in there, you just drag it there and it would bring you straight to the camera. And this is actually the camera app, what I love the most about this phone, which is why I would probably go to this, but I'm a little bit hesitant right now, and I'll talk about that later in the blog article. The camera is the best thing on this thing. It has some great modes in here. One of my favorite is HDR. Normally, if you get an HDR app, you have to take 1, take 2, take 3 shots, and it takes time. This thing just took the 3 shots right away, and it does the processing for you. So that's really cool. You also have, let's go back to auto mode, a burst mode kind of thing where you can just go and just take pictures. Like, how fast is that? That's awesome. And then you can go ahead and say which one's the best shot. Let's just delete everything. Delete. But really cool to be able to do that many shots just like that. So a lot of neat little things you can play around with in here that, again, just gives you right away. Again, little, those cheesy filters, you have that option as well. Again, it's a great camera. If you saw my review on the HTC One S, pretty much the same stuff. Excellent camera. What else we want to talk about here is battery life. People want to ask about the battery life. I think it's pretty good. I haven't had a problem. It's surprisingly, as a larger screen, it's actually quite well. When I compare it to my Nexus in terms of battery life, yeah, I use this a little more like a workhorse, and I do have a full day, so it doesn't last quite as long as this one does because it's not getting the full use out of it I do with that. But what I tend to do is, what really draws battery on this guy is the screen, and I notice that if I ever play like a game like Samurai vs. Zombies, the battery runs out really quickly. So I played a couple hours with Samurai vs. Zombies on here, and it wasn't that much of a draw compared to this. This one would really bogged it down. Also, when it played the game, when you play it on the Nexus, it jitters now and again, depending on what you also have in the background, whereas this, it's almost no jitters. So the battery's really great. There's very little lag that I've noticed on the device. And the display is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, you can't really tell on this video screen, but the display is amazing. And like I said, it's a little larger than the Nexus, but you're going to find that it looks bigger. It looks so much bigger compared to each other there. And that comes down to having the software keys versus the soft keys down there. It just gives that illusion of being a little bit larger. And where you really notice it, I was watching a YouTube video. There's a couple of YouTube videos I've watched on here that it just looked amazing. Let's see if I can find one here. Everybody loves glove and boots. Hilarious little video. Let me find YouTube on here and just show you the difference. Yeah, not sure if you're going to be able to tell the difference here. Well, let's speed along.
Always been horizontal. Televisions are horizontal. Computer screens are horizontal. People's eyes are horizontal. Mine built to watch vertical videos.
Let's see if I get these on top of the other. It just looks like you get much more screen out of the HTC One X versus the Nexus. Just ever so slightly. Enough that you go, wow, that is bigger. The display is crisper. You'll like the One X. It's a really decent model. And there's a pretty good thriving community for people for ROMing on it as well. So I know Tom's been playing around with it. A couple of our readers have sent in some suggestions as well. So that's my review of it. take what you will, and I'll put some more details in the blog. And thanks for watching, guys.